You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Aloha, everybody. Welcome to Outside the Box, Open Forum. The Emerald Table with Mike and Mark and our very own Kate of Gaia. And Kate's here also. I just haven't, she hasn't unmuted her mic yet. I had a beautiful 3 days away of not touching my computer, my iPad, or any of that stuff, just to kind of practice what I preach sometimes in terms of not that anything was good or bad. It's just want to be outside more. How much time do I surf the net, just filling my mind full of junk instead of the beauty that's surrounding us always? And wonderful for me, and I know it's perfect for everyone where they're at and what we've been tuning in and listening to, because hearts are resonating, and truth is shining, and love is in the air. If, as Kate reminded us, if we have the ears to see and the eyes to hear, it's an interesting view of our senses. Once again, because there are people on this planet, you blindfold them, they can see out of other parts of their body. And this is just a reminder that we are more than what we see in the mirror. We are more than many times what we believe of ourselves. And when we move out of that distortion, so to say, and have a clearer picture of reality and actuality, we really start smiling more, and it's a beautiful picture. And let's see if...
I'm here.
Oh, wonderful. Hey, Kate.
It's all right. I got your message before you actually said it. It's neat. I love it. Just stay in the moment. It's beautiful. Yeah, so I had a really kind of interesting afternoon, eh? Were you tuned in earlier today?
Yeah, I listened to the end of the show.
Yeah, it was... Yeah, it was a good download, you know. I don't even know where to begin right now. It's just, yeah, welcome to my world. It's getting really, really hard to be literal at all. Just, it's neat. It's a whole different movie when you hear with your eyes and see with your ears. Everything starts to make sense, and you know, I come across different posts here and there, you know, be it Facebook or Skype or whatever. It doesn't really matter, and observing the polarities that people still cling on to, you know, claiming they're harming us and the thieves and all the rest of this. Yeah, that's the game, right? Observe it. See it for what it is. It's a game. And can you get reeled in by it? This is a really hard thing to explain to people because you've been away from your God mode for a very long time, apparently.
Okay, I was talking with Mark before the show about this, and one of the most easiest ones we can see it on is money.
Mm-hmm.
How people relate or understand this concept, this introduced virus in a way.
Well, it's easy to explain. It's in the word, mo-ni, modus operandi of the knee. So it's a worshiping of the money or not. And again, this is a good and evil at the same time. Mm-hmm. It is about the intent that is contained within it. You see, people don't realize that every thought is a contract.
And so in this intent, and this is how it's come clearer, is we're not saying go out and burn your money. Again, it's your intent behind it. Use this tool, even though for, well, at least my lifetime that I can remember, it's been a tool used against us to basically disassociate ourselves from our power. But at the same instance, assisted me to wake up to recognize, hey, wait a second, the source is inside of me. I'm not worshiping something outside of me, whether it's money, a government that most people don't even realize that that's who they're worshiping, because they can imagine, oh yeah, not a church, but say, hey, the government's gone. Oh no, don't take that away from me. Yeah, they're worshiping that. They just didn't recognize it. And same with the money thing. And I'm like, it's not a bad thing. It's just guys, do you remember this? This is what it is. This is what it's programmed to do. And now, being the God that we all are, we can, while we're still playing with these minor instruments, use them to our benefit and everyone else's.
Yeah, spot on, Mike. Aloha.
Aloha.
Hi, Kate.
Hello, Mark. Get on that horse. You're the horse of Babylon.
And so when we hear you just break down the language, for me, I look at this and I look at all other facets of life in a way, and I watch how this fits in all of those. It's the same thing. It's not like it's the key that took them all down in a way.
The master key.
It brought clarity.
Yeah.
It brought clarity to the other fractionalized pictures in our life, but we can now bring them back to one and see it for what it actually is and move on.
Yeah, time to have some fun.
Because
indeed.
If we use it, the old system, we're not moving on. We're going around and around. And we're like, okay, yeah, I'm done with this merry-go-round, guys. I'm getting a little queasy, whatever you call it, sick.
Queasy?
Queasy. I choose to get off the ride right now because it's no longer fun. And now most of the fun we are having, that true, well, we know it resonates. It's that belly laugh. It's that smile on your face. It's that laughter that makes your heart warm. Yeah, we're living. This is when you actually are tuning in to your whole self, the grander universe.
It warms the cockles of your heart.
And this is the world we're moving into again. Because most of the humor and laughter we did kind of have wasn't doing that. And now we're recognizing this other purer sense. And it's because we're moving into our new homes, which is our heart center.
Yeah, it was something I've been, it's been around for a while, but it's very interesting. I've talked about the letter G, and why it was inserted in the number 7 spot was to control the intent of the words. The letter G is the hex. It is the 6 that spins you inward. And when you see it in a word, be mindful. And one of the words that came up earlier, thanks Capri, of course it had to be the she-goat. Always is. I'm not sure if my Facebook isn't working, but anyway, the word was. She said the word name was an anagram of amen, and I thought, yeah, it is actually. And then I looked at it and I saw the heart and the mind, the Anu, the heart, and the Ram, the mind, and the only thing that came between the heart and the mind was the G, the hex. So for me, the G is the spin in, egocentric, right? And there's that ego, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing between consciousness and creation is the G again, ego, right? So instead of it saying ego, well, EO, like you'd call somebody, EO, and start doing this.
There's a sacred valley here, Eo Valley, on Maui, and been many times, been blessed, And you really, when you said ego, I'm like, EO, this is... And then, isn't it odd when you take out G from God, you get odd?
And then drop the D again, drop the GDP, and you have O, creation itself. E-I-E-I-O, indeed.
Yes.
And that's what I means, too. It means yes. Aye, Captain. So it's about taking the sound and changing the intent. This is what I've been trying to share. And it's not a simple, it's extremely simple concept, but it's very difficult to grasp. When you change the sound, or the word, the spelling of the word, by changing the intent, it's like earlier today, I put up a post for all my Italian friends. And they'll know what I'm saying in Italian when I say this. Chi cazzo fai? The Pope had a little slip up, and it was beautiful. Again, I follow my script in the now, and I just spelled it out phonetically in English, and it exactly says what it is. Saying "chi cazzo fai" in mixed company with fluent people that speak fluent Italian might get heads to turn, but not the way you think you want them to. Cazzo. Cock, fuck, that sort of energy in it. As the Pope meant to say caso, like home, and instead he said cazzo, and then he corrected himself. It was actually quite brilliant. So apparently it's okay for all you religiocosus chosenitis types to say fuck, the Pope did, or cock, whatever. Because I mean, really, with the and you know me, I like calling it out so people can see it. Let's take off our bibs and let's have a look at the true hidden meanings, and don't let the emotions of your silliness get in the way because somehow you were programmed into a sound to mean this, that, or the other. I've said it countless times. If you go to inland China and walk around and say the word fuck, you'll probably end up with something like an egg sandwich. I have no idea what that might translate into in Mandarin or Cantonese, but I mean, you see the signs when they're spelled out in English. You know, Fu King Restaurant. You know, but there's two words, Fu and King. Spelled in English, it looks a whole lot different in the characters of Chinese. But when you put it out in English, it creates an entirely different spell, doesn't it? And because of the spell that you were trapped in, being spellbound, you're blinded. Your ears are blinded because you're buying the light, which is this just another frequency of sound. Everything is sound. That's why you need to hear with your eyes. So bring it here. So ki, K-E-Y, ka, spirit, Egyptian, and of course ti, kat, ki katso, phi, is the note of love, or the one you're going to, the cross you're crucified on. Put the sound behind it. The E, there's consciousness. So, a needle pulling thread. Phi, creation. And I would happen to say that the whole intention behind a cock would be for creation, yeah? Again, it's going right back down to the energies. And guys, I am telling you, you've got to lose all of the charge you have on words and sounds. And I laugh at the people, the silly little children that sit on the edge of their seat, waiting to pounce. I've had it happen countless times over the years. Oh, you said fuck. Oh, yeah, I did. What's your problem? It's just a sound. Oh, that's right, you're spellbound. Sorry about that. I'm fucking stupid. I actually thought you could think like me. My apologies. Again, it's about letting go of the energy. It's letting go of the charge. And I can always tell when people are using these words with charge contained in them. They still haven't got this, because I can feel the energy where it's still abrasive. So I'm trying to alleviate all of that. Lose the edge. Take the burr off your intent. That's when you go from burl to goy. Boy to girl, burl to goy. You've got a burr on your intention because you've got charge on it. You need to put that one into the law of God in the lathe. Law lathe, law theo, law theos. Yeah, these are not coincidences. And when you start cracking this code, and that's all it is, it's just a code, your eyes open to an entirely different reality because your ears have finally opened. You're hearing things as you see them and seeing things as you hear them. So you've reversed the spell. So take the G, take the hex out. The intent of it was to spin you in. Sorry, Masonic Temple, your G is powerless. It's been reversed. And we'll flip it over to create the whole spirit of Theta. And that is the God of love. Theos, ta, gratitude. It really is this simple. And at this point, you're probably starting to see and moreover feel the programming that is running in you, that I am very patiently working at removing. And it's just a couple of little tricks that you can do within the spellings to reverse all of this stuff. The letter P, start inserting its proper sound, ro. And you will understand a whole lot more because you're going to see these words transform and all of the intentions therein. I could say faux pas. In France, it means an error. In the Midwest, it means that your dad's your enemy. You see the difference. Yet both sounds work. It's the sound that works, not the words. And you can take any language you want. I mean, hey, just a chicazzo in Italian. If you say that in the wrong place, you're going to get a slap upside the head because people have so much charge on these sounds. You say it in English, ki, kat, so, fi. Now you understand that, well, you have ki, which is, you can make it the Greek letter X. You can make it something you put in the door. You can make it somewhere to park your ship, your mind. What else? Qui in French means who. So what is the intention of the sound that you're saying? Or are you just spewing something from a common tongue that has you tongue-pledged? Look at the word knowledge. Take the G out. No lead. So when you take the G out, you remove the lead and turn it to O. AU in French makes the O sound. You don't need the G, the L, or the D. You just have to look at the periodic table to correlate the O sound with that element. Or no lament. E as a prefix means no. So, in order to become the rammer, best learn your grammar. It's not that difficult. It's the reason why grammar got removed. I'm one of the lucky ones. I loved grammar. I loved history and I loved English. Funny how it played in my game. And these are very simple things. And again, I just have to tell the same thing over and over. Do it. Do it for yourself. I have given countless clues, nails, for you to nail this one shut. But the programs that run so deep within everyone, what's stopping you? I'll tell you, because you're afraid of the truth. And the measure of your ability to stand in the truth is the measure of the fear and the circumstance you find yourself in. Best change that modus operandi. Look at that. M-O, mo. With the grass too, right? You might do that with a machine gun as well. What is your intent when you make the sound mo? Well, curly, Larry, and modus operandi. M-O, modus operandi. So let's go with modus. The modus operandi is contained within the M-O. And that's your mode of God, the mode of the intent and creation. But even look at the modus operandi. O, take that P out, or flip it to the R, or, and then you have the undie. Isn't that interesting? The not die or the one die? Well, it depends. If you use the sound D-I, D-Y, or D-I-E. In Latin, die means day. I talked earlier today about changing all the vowels contained within the sound with sound mind. If you want the consonants, the with sound mind to work for you, then start playing with your vowels. Switch them up. Stop assuming and presuming that a word is spelled only the way you were programmed to spell it. If you do, then you are spellbound. You are following all the rules. Now I'm going to suggest that you follow all the rules to break them. If EA sounds like E in bead, or in bread, then the bed becomes the breed. Do you see how quickly the intentions of those changed? Bead to bread, bed to breed. Funny how that works. And all I did was change the sound of the two same letters. I didn't have to respell them at all, because the spell is contained within the sound, not the fucking word. And you are the master of this or the slave to it. It's your choice. But you're going to have to sit down with a pen, crayons, I don't care, and play. This game is not going to play itself. You're the master or the slave. You're either playing the kami, the spirit of the magnetic electric. Remember the G, I flip in a K there. Put the spirit back where the hex was. My spirit. Because a G can intersperse with the K, right? Well, no, K-N-O-W. New, G-N-U, so the G can be interconnected and do the same silent thing. In no, G-N-O-W. This is what I'm talking about. There are no rules while you use all the rules. It's a singularity. The language, all of the spellings are a singularity. It just depends on how you interpret the law. And I told you what to do with the music scale yesterday. Flip the law and the re, or ro, swap places. And you'll understand how the real music scale works. So there's a few little hints. Many people ask me about how do I do this? I'm just going to say, do it yourself. Because I've lost count of the fish I've thrown out there. Moreover, I've thrown out pristine fishing rods for you to land these whales all by yourself. The way of L, the way of intent, that the whale is. Prince of Wales. You're damn straight, Prince of Wales. You might, and that's a print. Prince, P-R-I-N-T-S or P-R-I-N-C-E. It just depends on your intent. I just left the last part silent. You can do anything you wish. Do not be spellbound. Because if you're worshiping the Prince of Wales, as in some guy or whatever, it's actually, well, we talked about it today and last night. Well, what have we got? Pre and say. My pre, as in before creation. So if the Prince of Wales is someone you look up to, someone you worship as your royalty, well, don't worry, they'll take care of your creations ahead of you, pre-ense. They'll even give you a pre-ancess. Princess. Remember the story, The Princess and the Pea? 100 mattresses high, and she couldn't sleep because there was a lump in her bed. Someone put a pea in her bed. That tricky little bastard Peter. All of these little stories that we've grown up with and become part of and made them part of us are absolute truths once you have the eyes to hear it and the ears to see it. But you got to back up. And everyone's in such a hurry. And I do understand this. I really do. What I really want to make you aware of is this is all I do. I live in this. I don't, well, I'm going to come home for an hour after my slave job and all the rest of it. This is why I'm doing this, because it's my job to do this. This is my purpose. My dauphin. Purpose, dauphin, dolphin. It just depends on how you pronoun and say something and how many languages you want to pull in to find the intent you wish within that spell. Break the hex, make the wish, and watch your dreams come true. And while your ego goes, I'm laughing because I know it's that easy. I'm just waiting for one of you to get it. I'm here to make gods, remember? That was my job, my role, my chosen. But you have to spend a little bit of time. You could do this in a couple of hours. Seriously, just sit down with one or two or three words and start practicing the sounds. Chi cazzo fai? If you're Italian, it means something different than chi cazzo fai. If you're using English, Greek, Egyptian, whatever. That's why Phoenician is the master tongue. It pulls them all together. And you merely have to get the concept of this to dispel all languages. Get you out of Babylon right quick. And then, once you get the concept, change the spells. Watch your magic start. See, the ego needs all sorts of proof. That's the program. It's the Mrs. Doubtfire. It's the one that says, oh, that can't be right, that can't be this, that can't be that. I'll tell you, deja vu will prove it to you right quick. Yeah, get your ego to explain that one. Well, I can't. Yeah, because it's spiritual. It's the very thing that dispels everything you were ever taught, if you could see this. Think back of all the things in your life that were just really, really, really weird. But they happened. Did you dismiss them as, oh, that was just weird? Well, that's what ego does. It doesn't want to look at things that might give the game away. And the joke is, you're immortal. And the only thing the ego is concerned about is survival. Apparently the ego has an issue with immortality. You might want to sort that out. Bring your oil and water together. Get them working together. Yeah, you want to talk about planetary or universal mail fraud? It's interesting that Frau, F-R-A-U, can also make, and there it is. There's the root note. The F is the S. It can be so many things, guys. I talked about this earlier today. Mail fraud, yeah, M-A-L-E, Frau. Of course, delta, Greek. It's a triangle. That's the Trinity. That's the mail fraud. Put yourself in the mirror. You were walking around this planet with the reverse energy inside the mirror body. You were right all along. I'm just showing that you were. That's all. Ego hates that. Ego needs to debate. Ego needs to fight and, get pissed off and angry. And ego is the only thing that contains the word fear. Because an immortal God has no fear. It's kind of counterproductive. So we create something to play with that does. That is completely separate from us. In the physical sense. It's part of the DNA. That is the program. That's Jacob's ladder. And this is how you climb. Or descend, it's entirely up to you. Ladder, law, der, the law of God. Der, the in German. Theos. The. Goat, got. I've covered all this stuff. Have a look at a few of the words that you know in different languages. Just write those out and see what sounds they make and how you can correlate them into an English sound. Whatever your native tongue is, it's irrelevant because it works with all of them. Try that. Do you know any French words? Do you know any German words? Well, I've given you enough of the, a little bit of Egyptian here and there. You can get a Greek alphabet online. You can get a Phoenician alphabet online. Google is your friend. Or ooh-ul. Lose the guh. Right? Stop being a seagull. There's the C, the note, with a G in the middle of intent. Love, hexed, intent. Best to move that out. Gullible now becomes you-elible. U, that's intent. L, that's intent. L, that's intent. Able, well, that's the right divine feminine. That's your northeast wind. And they're blowing the other way now. Watch the world change. There was a post that was put up regarding, Connecticut. I see a lot of interesting, something about the gun thing or whatever. I thought it was quite funny, actually. Here's a group finally waking up to say, calling the bluff. Something about gun rights or whatever. And they're saying, put up or shut up. You got all these organizations. They're calling the government bluff because that's all it is. The government's walking around with a busted straight, and we're all walking around with royal flush to the spades. If you were sitting at the table, a poker table, I don't care how many people are sitting at it. If you're sitting there with an ace to 10 of spades straight flush, that's a royal flush. How much are you going to put in the middle of the table? You're going to put it all in because there's nothing that will beat that. And that's the power each and every one of you has. You're walking around with a royal flush thinking you got a broken pair of twos. And you got a bunch of card players with less than that trying to bluff you. And you're buying this shit. You think the courts have power. You think governments have power. Why? Because you consent to it. I hear a lot of people talking about, well, the government's this and that and the other. Well, why are you being a liar then? Huh? Why are you supporting it? If thine eye offend thee, pluck it out. Means if there's something you're doing that's not working, it's hurting you, get rid of it. Please do not. I am the last being on this planet that you can use anything to justify a position in the system. Once your intent shifts on it, and I'm not giving anybody an out. There's a few people I have in mind that know exactly what I'm saying and have means. And are doing a lot of things to take the system down just with that intent. You are the masters of your own slavery. I cannot make it any clearer. I will not make it gentle because, that's the cold, hard truth. You know me. The systems exist because people support them and worship them. What Mike was saying earlier about money, yeah, it's the modus operandi of the knee. Are you bowing to the money, or are you using that tool to have the system bow to you and finally break? Rockabye baby in the treetop. Ra-ka, by, duality. BB, well, there's your Christ consciousness, 1313. There's your Capri, your she-goat. When you start looking at all of the things that bring themselves together with one sound, look at goat. Sowing your wild oats, indeed. So let's take the hex out of the goat and make it oat. Let's put the silent M in front of it. Now you have a moat. Now you have a spell casting ability. Because remember, any letter can be silent. You can do whatever you want and respell things to your liking. And when you do this, oh well, that's not. I don't give a fuck. It's what I think. It's what I create. And I'm done buying the lies. I'm done buying the bullshit. That's what comes out of the arse end of that creation. And it's just because you're shy about love, shite, shit, shat, shot, whatever, shote. Doesn't matter. Bust it up. Have some fun with it. Take the alphabet, put it in a little box, and smash it. And watch where the pieces go. You can put pieces together any way you want. Create whatever picture and whatever intent you want based in the sound. So there's one aspect of God. Let's stay with the G sound, right? There's your coat of many colors. So let's use the sound that was already there that did the G work. Let's put the spirit back in. Coat, goat, coat. It's the same sound. Oh, but it's about the intention. Okay? So there's your coat of many colors. What is a goat or a coat? Well, that's your Capricorn. Brings in the Capricorn. That's Christ consciousness. If you're bringing in the Christ consciousness, you might as well bring in the knees. Right? Because that's what Capricorn rules. Start looking at it. Well, you've got the whole aspect of bowing in there. And you can spell that B-O-W or B-O-U-G-H. Oh, there's that hex again. So let's get rid of that. Bow. That still works because I don't hear any sound in there. Do you? Didn't think so.
Hi, Kate.
Hey, Ninja. How are you?
Well, you talked about Capricorn, and then I came, so how you doing?
Good. It's actually nice when I can say Capricorn and make someone come. That's awesome.
Wow. There you go. See?
You see that
creation for you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Bow, B-A-U, also.
Mhm. All of it.
All of
There
it.
there are no rules here. Bow or bow. Better get your quarrels in order. That's your arrows, and stop quivering them in a quiver. And get your ass together and start shooting apples off the kid's head. Because you can't miss. It's going to be a bull's eye, a toroidal field yes every time. It's not just the center of a target anymore, is it? So we having fun?
Yeah, I'm having fun trying to get on earlier than this, but that's not working, so here I am.
Right on.
Yeah. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mark. Hi, everybody. While I'm saying hi, I'm going to give a shout out to a new connection I've made to Tammy Cook Hello, darling. Really nice to connect with you today. And yes, indeed, we're all here to touch each other with our ripples in the pond as we go along. Mm-hmm. That was something that Tammy brought to my attention today, how we do that, and sometimes we just never even know it. And it's very true, isn't it? And here we are.
Exactly. Did anybody notice yesterday when I sent out the Facebook that I wrote Kate of Gaia? Did anyone see that? I do stuff like that just to see if people are actually paying attention or if they're still caught in the assumption presumption. Because that's what English is. It's assuming and presuming what you think I mean. How's that working for us?
Well, it's working for someone, but yeah, time to turn that around, obviously.
Yeah, Randy put a note. Ego needs to be thanked and set free. Whoa, it already is free, and it is part of the physical reality. It's time to get along. That's all. I'm done with the tail wagging the O. I made the D and the G silent, of course. The tail, T-A-L-E. Weighing, because you make the G silent. The O. Directing the consciousness, directing the creation. It's time for the O, you, to start weighing the tail.
Well, Kate, what you just said about, the tail wagging the O being creation, well, the tail is also the story, the T-A-L-E version. So is that the story?
That's why
the horse. What is it? The cart before the horse and all that.
Yeah, well, that's why I spelled it out, T-A-L-E, just so people don't assume using English that I meant something on the back end of a dog. This is the problem with the assumption and presumption. Once we learn to speak a language, even before we start writing things, but once we learn to speak a language, it is just Babylonian. Listen to the conversations. No one ever, as far as I can tell, sits back and actually listens to what they're saying. There's your ship going down. That's your listen, right? Slow down, breathe. Everyone's in such a hurry. Jesus, I get my door hammered all day, every day. I want my Chateaubriand now. Sorry, this is not a drive-through. We're sitting down at the emerald table here. We got some really nice cutlery. We got some beautiful crystal. We got nice centerpieces. We've got all of the butlers and servants and chefs and sauciers, and that's what this table is about. We all take turns in all of these roles. Gary Scottsov tagged me. It's like, I was on the air. Go figure. Oops. LOL. Laters. Not at all. Have I offended you? No, please. Can't offend me. Just hard to type and talk is all. There we go. Good example of what I was just saying. How quickly the assumption and presumption goes in common English. I'll make sure my intent is really, really jovial in when I write things, so people don't ever take it the wrong way. But see, here's the thing: when you truly get the notion that, yeah, I am benevolence. That's all I'm here to do. I made my deal. I already told you guys. I'm not going to go back on that. You kidding me? Yeah, I'm going to be real selfish about being benevolent. I go back on that. I'm going back on my contract with self and all. And that's where you make your deals, boys and girls. You make them in the heart. Get rid of the toroidal field concept. The torus literally tore us in two from mind and heart. That's why the Gemini is right above the heart, right above the Cancer, the breasts. It's the only thing coming that's coming between you, the spirit, and the mind, to bring the mind and heart together, is your Gemini aspect. It's the only sign in the zodiac that and we all have it. Is spirit. That's what's connecting the heart and the mind. It's not difficult. It really isn't. I'll tell you what makes it difficult is your being in a hurry. And that was a big thing for me, to condition myself to sit down. Crying out loud, I am Gemini, to shut the left brain off. That took a bit of work. It took a lot of work. It doesn't matter. Everyone's got the Gemini, so you all have the same issue. I just had the clue, as it was part of my sign, to not think. Think, not think. Now go back to the Phoenician starter kit. I've listed all the zodiacs in that one, and what their roles are. You need to conquer every one of them in the mirror and look at them phonetically. Look at the sounds that are being created. I like using Scorpio because it's the easiest example to explain. The I want, I don't want. Want also means need. I need, I don't need. And that's part of the Capricorn too. Are you willing to be the Christ consciousness? Bow on your knees, babe, to all of creation. Are you willing to do that? That's your call. I made mine. I'm good. I'm happy. We got Joe Terra. I'm going to open up her line, guys. And I'm going to sit back for a bit and let you guys party. So I'll probably roll out of here in about 10 minutes. I just wanted to set the stage a little bit to stay focused on the phonics and breaking the spells. Because to me, this is the master key. It is the most crucial key that I've found yet. And it's the one that's unlocking everything. And the more I can talk about it and share it, the more people get it and share it, the faster this game comes down. And again, please, on my Facebook. I have room for one, by the way, Kate.Renee.5. Don't post fear porn. If you cannot decipher it from the literal into an anagogic, then you're caught in the literal. So please do not. Have a look at it. Take a second look at it. Get some patience. I tell you, if there's someone that needs to be impatient in this life, it's me. I have more reason to be impatient than most that I know. But I am. I don't care. My cab ride is taking me home. It's all good. And when I watch things, I'm not watching them from the, ooh, look at that, that's a symbol. Ooh, look at that, that's a symbol. Ooh, look at that. No, I'm looking at anything I do as a confirmation of my now, of what I've got out there. I set my foreshadow up, and then I wait until I get the confirmation. And it generally comes within, seconds. That quick. Anyway, Joe, glad to have you.
Glad to be here. Can you hear me? Well, I've got a different headset on.
No, you sound great, actually. That's really good.
I finally found out how to work the Skype with the code to come in and use my headset so I don't have to be stuck to a computer. So, yeah, I'm walking around now. When you said the opposite, I'm a Sagittarian, so I don't see is perfect. I don't see. What I used to do was I could see everything, and it becomes fairly overwhelming when you see everything and you think you can see everything. It's all a mind perception. And I used to use it. Oh, I'm a Sag, I'm supposed to see, so I see the big picture. It was just a natural way of, a habitual way of putting it out there. I won't call it natural. Now, in not seeing, using I don't see. In not seeing, I get to see all of spirit, all of creation from I wonder what I'll see next place. So the synchronized events, I allow the seeing from a different seeing place. So it's not my mind seeing, it's my being seeing. So that's the innate way of just watching the next present moment.
Yeah, that's when you're seeing with your real eyes. Okay, it's like even the word "not" can be pronounced "note." So that's I'm not going to do that. Well, you've either tied yourself in a knot, put your real spirit into it, or because I can repronounce that note, that's the song you're singing. I'm not going to do that. You're saying I'm going to do that. And this is why this whole mindless thing with courts and all the rest of it is for the really, because I was there. I know what mental retardation is. I was there. And that's all it is to me. And I love watching. It's comical to me. It's watching some brilliantly intellectual idiots showing their prowess on how stupid they are because they don't even know what they're saying. They don't know what they're creating. They're still using the spells. They're still spellbound. And the system is going to laugh at you. It's a system you worship. Then go ahead, serve your master. I'm out of Babylon. No. But Sag was a very critical thing for me. And there's that note of C as well, right? Unconditional love. I've met a lot of Sagittarians that don't know what unconditional love is. Some even like picking fights with me on occasion. But I don't do that anymore. I'm not interested. When you place conditions on something, then you are judging. You are polarized. If you put a condition on something as, well, I'm right, and you're this, that, and the other, then you have placed a condition on it. You've passed judgment. That's why my only game is to prove every one of you right. And I can do it. There's no polarity in that. It's a complete singularity. Because you can't do anything wrong. You can't. You just have the illusion. That's what the ego does. It gives you the illusion. So there's your middle C. So that's another clue as to you get centered, get balanced. Because the mirror of that is the Gemini. Or the key, me, that's mine, of the S. What is Chem? K-H-E-M means black. It's Egyptian. The black in I. Yeah, that's the void. Absolutely. That's the creation. And the more this language dispels itself for me, the more power I get. You want your God status back, then quit crying. Quit playing the victim. Quit trying to figure out all the literal shit and start getting into the real game of spirit. And I'm watching the effects that I'm creating in real time, and it's hilarious. I'm thinking, is nobody else scripting this fucking movie, or is it just me? It's amazing. I can sit and with anybody watching a movie, and I can watch their movie, my movie, and a lot of other people that I know, because I can shift my point of view. I go, oh, well, what do I know of this point of me? Okay, well, I'm going to watch the movie from what I know of that, and lo and behold, there it just shows up. Because it is all there. Everything is contained within the dot, within the fractal. And the key to the fractal is sound. And the only way you're going to get back to the fractal is to break the spell. The letters, the sigils, that create space on an empty canvas. It limits all your possibilities. Leave your canvas blank. Once you do that, nothing is impossible. Nothing. Like, seriously. You ever expect to walk out somewhere and see a bunch of goats at the top of a tree that have climbed it, and a bunch of other goats sitting around the bottom? It's a perfect fractal of humanity. There's the tree of life. You want to climb the tree of life, just like the black and white goat that are at the top in the picture, coincidentally? One shot of a goat out on a limb that looks barely strong enough to hold something a tenth of its weight, and there it is, happily standing there, looking around going, this is the way it is. So and the allegory there is, if you want to be weightless, get centered, stand in truth, and get out on a limb. Because only out on the outer branches will you see the light. Pretty simple.
Okay.
Yeah.
I lived the allegory of that goat up a tree business the other day. We had a fallen tree here that we decided to use to make the beginnings of a little bridge. And so, kind of walking across. Well, actually, I'm lying because I didn't walk across it because it wasn't red yet and it was a bit slippery and a bit too sort of, no, I don't fancy that. So I went on planks across the smaller area, but they're only temporary. So the goat will walk the tree very, very soon whenever the tree becomes a bridge.
Exactly. And here's a nice one, too. Brian's been texting me here. Anagram of Kate of Gaia. Well, again, drop the G and put the K in there, but it was interesting. Fake goat. Oh, okay. Well, sorry, I'll go phonetically on that. Nothing fake about the heart key. Fa key. Yeah, fa key you. Fa key me, fa key you. You damn straight I want a fa key you. And there'd be people, if you said that, hey, why don't you go fa key yourself? There'd be people across the room going, hey, what was that? And they won't have a clue as to what you said, while you use that clue to nail them to their emotional ego wall, their cross. Fist fight, hold the light, carry out the dead. No G in there. I took the G out of fight. What have you got? Oh, look at that. Creation of love. In consciousness, phi T. Or it can also be the creation of your own crucifixion in consciousness. Just depends on how you accept that word. If you accept it literally, well, guess what? There's a spell there. And if you accept the word literally, you accept the spell contained within it until you redefine it using Phoenician, definition. When you start seeing this too, the magic appears. You're gonna sit there and go, oh my God, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. That's all I've been doing for the last number of weeks. And I was looking pretty good before, but nothing compared to what it is like right now. And Steve had texted me. What was the? It was a good comment. Mystified. Said about getting hard to speak and whatever. Said, yeah, actually, what I'm noticing, and I think I mentioned this last night. What I'm noticing most of all is it's getting increasingly difficult to write a paragraph. Handwriting. Typing is something else. But I'll tell you, I really noticed it when I was handwriting. Because the thing about handwriting is, for me, it's much slower than typing. I can rattle out words on a keyboard pretty quick. But when you're taking the time to write something out, what I noticed was I had lots of time to spare, and everything started going fractal on me. So I'd have to be, oh yeah, I've got to write it this way. I've got to write it this way. And I was self-correcting the whole time. It's pretty awesome.
That's the same what I'm doing, Kate. Yeah, I was going to do it on the computer, breaking down the words, and then getting back to the computer to do it. I'd go, I've got to reboot it or something. So I've got notepads. I've been using them for years. I just go back to my journals, and then I'm writing out words, letters. If I don't have, say, your basic idea of what words are if they're not coming to me. I'm just creating them for myself and constantly using it in the positive. So I had a name of a friend of mine who I had energy with, so I just breaking down the word for her, and that came out so beautifully in the way in which I wanted it to see, and it was exactly the best in her that I could see, and it just shifted my energy completely. And I had little scribbles and hearts and arrow back, and you can't do that on the computer. So I decided, no, I'm not using the computer. I set up this whole space for it, and I thought, no, it's all on paper. So now I've got bits and pieces going everywhere, like half letters, words that stand out, like you're using the word inevitable. We watched The Matrix the other night, and the last one where Neo says to Mr. Smith, you were correct all along. It is inevitable. And I thought, there's that word again. I have to break it down. And then I'm listening to you using it. And because it's coming from the positive, my mindset now, I'm not able to think left brain anymore. It doesn't, not as much. It's like it's the computer's, the processing unit is just not working that way anymore. You can't sit at this table and have it work like that.
No.
So then I've got I've got these words sitting there. I've got them half broken down, and until I come to a place where I'm enjoying the meaning of the word.
So much for the ruse of Divine Feminine. Here, just jump in here for a sec. Thanks, Larry. Sent me the post for that, the tree climbing goats. The headline is The Incredible Tree Climbing Goats of Morocco. Well, I guess if you take that literally, I'm going to show you some magic as to why this is all about consciousness, Christ consciousness. Mo, modus operandi, ro, spirit breath, ko, together in duality, unconditional love in creation, which removes the duality and makes it one. So mo, ro, ko, of course, and it's all talking about there's it shown. There's your eyes hearing it. That's what I mean when you hear with your eyes. Because it's a picture that was created with sound, of course. So look at it as the allegory. What is it telling you? When you start correlating all of these different things, like, okay, if somebody says bull, automatically I'm going to the zodiac, Taurus, toroidal field, creation, that we like to ramble on about. Yeah, not a coincidence. That's head to throat. Completely bypassing the heart. That's what most people do. They like to ramble on. And ramble on. And, did I mention ramble on? That's what a Babylonian is. Babel, law, mind. Yeah, ion. The magic word is simple. Shh. Go to sleep. Mentally. Put the baby to bed. But don't throw out the bathwater and the baby at the same time. Okay? Take your time. But really, the incredible tree climbing goats of Morocco. I guess it depends on how you pronounce it. But I'm thinking now when you see Morocco, you'll have a different understanding of it. So what I've done is I've altered that spell into probably a little bit more amenable intent. You think? It's not just a country anymore. Now it's a full intention. Because it's all in the sound. Anyway, carry on, Joe. I'm going to sit in for a little bit longer, I think. But, yeah, stay on this course, guys. This is the magic key. Do not let the literals and all the wonderful little stories and anecdotes that we can talk about distract you. Play with the magic. You're the sorcerer's apprentices, just like me. You're not going to learn the magic until you talk about it and work with it. Keep this line going. This is the common thread that pulls the sweater asunder to make the sweater that keeps you all hot and bothered into the sweeter. There's nothing sweeter than you. And that's intent. There's nothing sweeter than intent. And you get this. You get your intent back. But you cannot be polarized. You cannot be polarized. if you have any vengeance or the like in your heart, this will not carry into creation. And that's where you get real careful with your intent as you get this magic power back. That's why I reel it in, and I keep it real. Anyway, stay the course.
Yeah, if it's very real, this table is the only place where I can be at peace, knowing the true intention behind our hearts is to always connect and create the spell from a place of bringing the heart into it. So there is no malice or ego intention here at all. So everything else is not. It's not even possible to actually listen to it. So yeah, very very quiet, very limited exposure to anything else. Why would you want to? It's like filling the mind with this babble, as you say, babbling on.
Yeah.
And it hurts. If you come from your heart, it actually hurts. It hurts when you feel it. Yeah.
Do you want to? Here's a little something that everybody can do. Take the nursery rhyme. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow, and anywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. Write that out, literally, as you would normal spelling in your spellbound state. Then what you're going to do is, word by word, you're going to start writing other words using the same sound. Like mare, M-A-R-E, E, mare, E. So there's the horse of consciousness. This is where you got to have a kick like a mule, right? What is a mule? There's a reason why mules are all female. It's a clue. That's where you put the horse and the donkey, where your key with the horse to create the mule. And you can carry anything with that. So Mare E had... You can mess around with that. Lit. L. A lighted intent. Lamb. Well, you can write it with a B, and then start changing the sounds around. Well, had, the A can be an aw sound. Hod. H-A-W-E-D. Interesting. Do this and start searching every frickin' sound out. Google is your friend. It will present magic for you. So, Mary had a little lamb. Just write that out, or pick any nursery rhyme and then rewrite it. How many paragraphs have you seen me write that were totally nonsensical in terms of the spelling, but the sound you comprehended? So what changed the spell and the intent within the spell? You figure this out, you got the magic of the universe at your fingertips. I know, because like I said, am I the only one changing this planet, or what? And the joy you get when you see it, it's just, there's no words. There's no words. And I think I'm going to leave it at that. Let you guys carry on and have some fun.
All right. Hey, Joe. It's Mike here. Hey, Mark.
Oh, did it just go quiet?
Hey, Nan.
Yeah, apparently when Kate stops talking, so does the whole fucking planet. Jesus H. Get on it, guys. Let's go. Party, party, party. Jump in. The water's fine. I'll catch you guys in a bit. Love you so much. You have no idea.
See you later, Kate.
So,
hi, everybody. So I was just chatting to my husband there for a bit, so I missed you. Hey. Hey, Mike. Hey, Mark.
I'm in a really kind of, I wouldn't call it blissful, almost, wow. Very, really like it when you hear stuff. You're almost put in a state of waking, not waking. You know what I mean? When you're really hearing something on a high high level, so to say. Sometimes you almost go into a trance, and this information is just kind of downloading and just resonating on certain levels. And like I said, it's not necessarily a bliss state. It's just this different feeling, almost like I said, between waking and sleeping. And sometimes when I listen to the show and all you guys that come to the table, I get into this space, and whoo, I'm waking up a little now, and it's feeling really good. So we got the whales here. I was watching whales earlier today with my son. Really lovely. The whales playing with their mom, jumping out of the water, splashing their tails, and we have this, not just, we talk about our human relations, and we have this as the whales and the dolphins, which we talk about many times with beings that we feel have consciousness. We know everything has consciousness, but in terms of if we were certain mammals or animals that we resonate with, where we feel like, yeah, that you look them in the eye, you know there's a being in there, and there's no mistaking it. And hearing, you can just go right out here, stick your head under the water, and you can hear the whale song. And I was thinking of this, feeling this even when what is this sound I hear from the whales? And my remembrance is it's pure intent. I'm not sure of like I'm saying, what these sounds are, but what I'm feeling when I do hear the whales, it's pure intent, where what we've come through in the human language was we separated our sounds from the intent, and this is what Kate is so lovingly bringing to our attention. And anybody else like to chime in? The board is open. Please hit 1 on your dial pad. Quite a few callers on the line. And let's hear what anybody else has to say. Mark?
Hey, Mike. It's interesting what you said about the whales, because you reminded me that I think it was a week before last, I was laying in bed. We were just I wasn't asleep, I was awake, but I had this vision suddenly, and I do take notice. And I had this vision suddenly that somebody I knew was in a spacecraft or something, and there was a situation that needed to be resolved, and there was a pause in it. And then suddenly I was aware that this whale had appeared, and the intent was to get out of there and to come back. And this whale appeared, and then, the individuals were transported by the whale from space back down to the sea on this planet and returned back to land as well. And I was like, how can that happen? Okay, so is it possible then? Well, yes. It probably is possible that, we've been told whales have consciousness. I've heard that they have the Akashic record in their memory. I don't really know if any of that's true. I only know what I saw in my mind, in my, just relaxed state. And it was that this whale could travel through everything, and can carry humans with them. And that made me think of Jonah and the whale, and that's another possible layer to that story. And it explained to me, because I asked the question, well, how can a whale have gone, the consciousness of the whole planet if it's only ever been in the water? And I was told, well, those energy particles, the orbs that we see in the forests and things when you take photos, that's part of their consciousness as well, so they can see everything. I mean, it's only my ramblings, but you reminded me of it, so I thought I'd share.
Lovely, yeah. You reminded me of even more, and I think I've seen artistic paintings and drawings of this nature where you'll see a whale or whales swimming through space. And
wow, there you are then. That's interesting, yeah. Go on.
When we look at the water, generally when we look at the ocean or water, we're looking at it as a container. And in that perspective, as seeing it as a container, well, we're looking where that perspective is putting a limit on it, that the whale it's bound only into the water. You see what I'm saying? We see it jump through the ocean here, splash out, and we're like, oh, it's breaching, it's coming into the air. But the clearer vision here is, no, that's my perspective, that it's bound by that container that I am, in a way, limiting seeing that it's in. And it's a reminder of our consciousness, we are not bound by this shell. The whale is not bound by the ocean or bound by its however many tons it's supposed to be. Oh, it's impossible. It can't fly. Oh, yes, it can. It's already doing that through the water. And
so, yeah. So if we take
sorry, I thought you, Joe, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I'm looking
at
I'm
sky
breaking
flag here, sorry.
Yeah, same here in Australia. It does a bit. So I realise I go, in the hope to not butt in, but I'll just come in. I looked at the word whale as we're saying it, so I go, okay, spells it whale, then way, W-A-Y-E-L, then way, W-E-G-H, get rid of the G, then W-E-I, then way, and then the way, so the way L, just make the L silent. Way is name. So I go, oh, okay, and we're talking about the whale. So the whales, we all resonate with them. It's in my name. It's our way is our name, and our name is our breadcrumb trail to it's me. It's in me. So I'm all, and the whale is representing all our way. And like you're saying, it's going through the water of truth. So we recognise our way is through truth of our own being, us connecting. They seem free and beautiful because they're just reminding us that's us. That's our way. It's me, Joanne. I am all. I can travel through the universe as I'm in everything.
The further proof in a way that was discussed, the morning that this came to me was that, well, if a whale, okay, essentially we understand they live in the water, but okay, the water goes everywhere on this planet because of, evaporation, rain and mist and all those precipitations. So then, of course, the consciousness of a whale is going to be not only all over this planet, and the dolphins as well. I'm talking about all the cetaceans. It's not only going to be all over this planet, it's inside us because we breathe the air, the moisture is inside us. We absorb that, we release that back out. So the whole thing is flowing round and round and round. And that was what I was shown, that this creature has the ability to transport us anywhere and back again inside of itself. And presumably we can, play with that notion and think of it in lots of other ways as well. But I think the connection is the truth, which is, as you just said, Joe, the water. That's where it all comes together with us on the land.
Yep, I had a dream the other night, and the only thing I remembered as I wrote it was water is the connector to all our, psychic, and I don't want to use that word, it wasn't that, like our spiritual connection. Water is the channel, the path to everything, and that's basically it, and here you are reinforcing it. Truth.
And there's Mike with whales outside his back door and sticking his head in the water and listening. I mean, you can't, but wow. I can only half imagine them in my waking state, and he's got the reality right there. So we're all sharing, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, definitely. We played tennis the other day, and I wanted to put this to the table. The gentleman that was organising it said, I won't be here next week. I'm on my 55th wedding anniversary. It's my emerald wedding anniversary. And I thought, there you go, our table, 55, 5. Bringing it down to, not even bringing it down to 1, the higher octave and the lower octave of 5. It was its physical experience, to experience this world in this physical body through our spiritual nature. And to me, that's how I saw emerald. And I've got the word there to break down, but I haven't broken it down yet. But, like how many times have we gone off with emerald? But watching him say that, and then everything turned up there was emerald crystals, there was emerald and colours. Everything I started to see was from this emerald perspective. So I think it's like our anniversary. We're celebrating.
A cockerel crows and a quick mute. Congratulations, Joe. I had no idea that you'd been around. Did you say 55 years? That's not possible. What are you talking about? Did I miss something?
No. Yeah, this gentleman we saw, it was his 55th wedding anniversary.
Gosh, I did miss the first part. There must have been a bit of break-up on the call. Yeah, okay, I'm with you now. I was doing a bit of computation in my head saying, no, that ain't going there.
Yeah, not yet.
Simply I've noticed, and I'm noticing right now, and I've been, I guess, blessed to be around it all my life and most of my life, and or at least this moment is green. Right now where I'm looking, I'm surrounded by green. I'm looking at it over 1,000 leaves, for example. And this has a wonderful effect on us. It really does. And when you're in a room all day or a classroom or a city, and we take it for granted that, this is normal. I tell you, when we start to see more green in our life, this color, this green from the nature, this emerald shine, it's, look where I'm at. And I'm not putting anything up or down, but this is for me, that I've always had this kind of intimate relationship with it. And when things are going more smoothly, I'm actually more connected outside and recognizing this and resonating with this. And even in my own way, when I'm not, I'm in my house, I'm in my room, my head's down, I'm gloomy, I'm gray, and really, there's no thinking yourself out of that. It's going outside again, letting some light shine, and it becomes as simple as this. This isn't the I got more knowledge than you, or I'm going to find the hidden knowledge before you game. That was in a way, a trap, and for me to hear other people really also connect with this level of the nature that I have around me makes me feel good, because I'm not taking it for granted, and I remind those around me also remember where we are. We're in a really magical place, and this is the whole planet, and not just where I'm living. This is the whole planet. This is the whole universe, the cosmos, the universe. And when we can recognize any small aspect, small, big, whatever size you want to put on it, the more you recognize this, the more you'll tune into it. The more you recognize this, the less distortion you're going to have in your signal. The less distortion you'll be picking up with your antennas. The more you do these simple things that bring you joy, relaxation, remind you of love, the more you're tuning in quite naturally to things that are going to resonate with this, and the less distortion you're going to tune into. And this is, people are like, how can you get out of the matrix? You're always trapped. Well, that's actually what I just described is how you do it. And I didn't tell you to think anyway. I didn't tell you had to know anything. It was just a basic reminder of recognizing the simple joys of being that are always here for us. Whether it's to look up at the night sky, take a breath of air. These are the connections that remind us of who we are, where we're at, and ultimately what we're doing. And what we're doing here is coming together in love once more.
Epic. When you say you look at 1,000 leaves in front of you, or millions, when it was breaking down the word epic, there's that movie Epic. It's a cartoon, and it's about the leaf men. Their motto is, we all come from the one tree. They're individual leaves, but all on the one tree. It's a beautiful movie. Got a lot of analogies in there. The sacred masculine and feminine, and how that works in balance for the one, versus, the dark side, which is literally still in the one. And yeah, it's a very sweet, profound movie, and it's called Epic.
Lovely.
I was on a group call with a group of women, get together once a week, and we do a dreaming session and connect within, and then we speak about what we're grateful for and our breakthroughs, and it's such a beautiful place to be. And these women are all around the world, and you can sit in your bedroom and connect. And last night we went around the world and viewed it all and saw all of nature, and went to a place, and I sat in this massive ancient tree, thousands of years old, and I sat right at the very top, cradled in this branch, and the tree gifted me this flower, one of its own flowers, and said, this is the flower of life. Its seeds plant so many more trees, and then there's more. And I looked at, and it's like we are billions of people. We're all these seeds from the same tree, the same connectedness. And I just the tree analogy helped me to recognize the oneness of all humanity and the absolute abundance of creators that we are. Pure creation, just like the tree is in its purity. That's us as humanity in its purity. 1,000 leaves, 7 billion people are all capable of creating, and we are creating whatever we want to create. It's now that we're recognizing the creation from that heart center, from that green heart space, that emerald place. That it was a beautiful reminder of being one with everything, and that humanity is too, because I kept seeing humanity as separate from the earth, as buying into the we're destroying it. No, we're not. We're creators. We're as abundant in our creative seeds that we plant. It's just a matter of what seeds do we want to plant. And now we have such a consciousness and a way of spelling and invoking our seeds, our voices, our seed voice or sounds, to invoke this beautiful creation. Like you're saying, you're living in there. Like, we're all living in it, and we're all seeds within it. So it's just a matter of allowing creation its natural flow to connect through us. And that's what this table is really reminding us. We always had the memory, we're just working the tool as such, and finding our voice, our toroidal energies, to be able to have the intention of coming from our heart, and then not allowing the old program of the words to mean a vision. What's my vision with this word? And if it comes from the heart, I can break down words to mean whatever I want them to mean, because I get so many different ways of seeing a word. Like Kate was saying, I get to the point where there's so many ways, and then and then I just sit with what's the most intentional way I want to see this word, and then how. And once that registers and clicks within me, it clicks in my heart, then that word comes up everywhere. My sister and I broke down the word just the other day. We're saying we would like not to use the word. I said, hold on, let's change it up then. Let's change up what just means as its word. So we had a look at the j, and whether j is a G sound, so we can make it silent. So look at us and T, the note of love. And we're like, we're all the note of love. So every time I say the word just now, I'm using it with that intention of it's a note of love that I'm putting behind it, instead of it being a wrong word or a limiting word, with the old program. So, and it takes time. And then I had a lady ring yesterday, and her name was Justine, and we watched a movie the other day, and the guy in it was Justin, and it just, it's like, so my mind's going, okay, how do I see this now from the note of love? We're all love. It's like, I miss anything that's going on. It doesn't matter, because it's just all babble, literal stuff, and on the whole, and I'm applying this love tone to the conversation, and it just sits in perfect resonance. And the rest of it, I don't really need to even know, because that feeling of the love for all is what's rolling around in the conversation.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's awesome. And what I'm finding interesting, and it's just what you said. I was looking at this word voice. I was just like, okay. I was just trying to break it down myself, and then you started talking about just and justice, and about how let's turn it around. And it comes back to love. And so I was looking at voice, and I was just going through it, and but before I could even start really sounding it out, just what it was kind of reminding me of, it was this, like, why it's clearer from the heart, from love, when we have this intention, because this is where it's coming from, and what has dissipated or is no longer there in our minds is the fear. Where before we might have been, like you were saying, breaking apart a word, or, should I use this word? Now we're coming from a love-based, how do we say it? We're coming from love. And inside that, our words that we use come back to love. They're showing us that that's what it is. So when we're breaking down these words, it's interesting how Kate has reminded us, and everyone's name is God. And now there's another way, and when we intend from the heart, everything is love. Everything comes back to love, because that's the resonance of it. This is the, I'll use the, this is the, where we do no harm. I wanted to put this in another way, but somehow this way we negative reference some things can be good also. We do no harm. And we're out of that fear-based mentality. And when we are recognizing this more and more, we are more honest with ourselves when we're not doing it. When we are kind of clipping into the old program and coming from a fear and trying to build a reality, and we're watching it just like get confused and start falling apart because the structure isn't there no longer to support that reality. And
yep.
Oh, I love it.
I really get you. Imagine, I'm the genie, that this is the wave of consciousness into telepathy. The heart intention is what we're now. I always wondered what it would be like. This is the edge of it, or whatever you want to call it. It's wow, because the words don't have the meaning. The left brain need of a tool to voice that. The intention, like when I sat in those spaces where I'm listening, the intention, like you're saying, the love is just flowing. So people get that, they sense that. I'm feeling it, so I'm looking at them from that place, and so this is the edge of telepathy. This is pure tonal heart vibration. So more silent, more recognition, and this is the way we're breaking the old spell, the imbalance of that left mind that wants to label and tag everything, to analyze it, to to trust in the truth of love, just to flow out. That's telepathy. That is a new, or not necessarily new, new for me. It's a way of communicating now.
Jo,
that's where we're moving into.
You just said flow out, and I saw it, and it's float. Flow out, float.
Yep.
I've opened area code 805's mic, by the way, just letting you all know.
Hello, everyone. I just kind of dropped in a deep place listening to all of you. It's beautiful. I just don't know if I can speak right now.
Hi, Colleen.
Hey, Colleen. That's what I was describing earlier.
I know.
It's like this deep space that I go into sometimes. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, somebody speak up. And I'm like, we're in this deep space.
And that's what you're talking about, and Jo, that space you're calling telepathy, that deep merging with all, and that silence, that peace that passeth understanding. And so when we try to put words to it, it just diminishes it in a way, because that feeling is infinite. So how do you put words to it? But we do our best. And I'm sitting out here in nature, like you're saying, Michael, and everything's so green, and right now for some reason we have so many crows, and they're just amazing birds, and sometimes their energy can be overwhelming, but their vibration. And when you're speaking of the whales, I was thinking of Daniel Holleman's visionary art. He does a lot of whales and dolphins, and it's exactly that, where the whales are flying or moving through space out of the ocean. And so that's a way also to connect to like a visionary art, to kind of drop into that magical place out of this dense matter. If you don't have an ocean to be able to see the whales and the dolphins. But here, I'm real close to the ocean, but we're up in the canyon, so we have coyotes and deer, and we had a bear a few months ago, and so many different birds, but the ocean is close. And I just wanted to tell a short story. I think, or I feel, when I have so many experiences with the animals, and sometimes I have the feeling some people think, wow, does she really have that many experiences? Well, because I have my heart open, and I invite the animals and that energy into my space. And one story, my daughter was about 8 years old, and we went to the beach. It was a full moon in November. And we went over to our beach, and there was no one on the beach at all. And we were pet sitting a little golden retriever puppy, and it was the cutest thing, and just running up and down the beach with it, just my 8-year-old daughter, this puppy, and myself. And then it was getting darker and darker, and we were going to do a sacred circle in the sand, and then we put some stones and shells, and then we do a mantra. And so we were doing the mantra and just laughing with the puppy, and that's what it is. It's, you get in that place of joy, and so what you're reflecting out is coming back to you, like my dog right now. And so what happened, it was getting darker and darker, and all of a sudden it was like pitch dark, and then the moon, the full moon, came up over the canyon hill, and it just lit up the ocean. And just like a path in the ocean, glistening off the water. And in that, just where the moon was shining on the water, was a circle of dolphins. They were going around in a circle, about 7 of them. And my daughter and I were doing the circle on the sand. And my daughter said, "Oh, Mommy, look, the dolphins have a sacred circle too." And they were just right off of where the waves come in. And, so it's just all so beautiful and magical. But I think for me is what I've experienced is just staying open, keeping your heart, keeping that childlike joy, and that keeps that magic flowing in.
That's a beautiful story, Colleen. Thanks for sharing that. Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah,
everything is in resonance with everything else, in theory, if you want to connect to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the shout-out before we decide if we're rolling over or not. Michael can decide that. Everybody, thank you to yourself, really, for being who you are and being where you are and doing what you do. And if you come here to Critical Mass Radio to share that with the rest of us, then thanks even more. Thank you to Paul Giovanni for his vision and for his determination in keeping this station going so that we can all use it and, share our lives through it. And, thanks to all the hosts and the beautiful souls that come to this table every day, and to everybody who listens at the archives. There's people listening to this all the time, and probably will be for, well, who knows, forever, theoretically. That's a scary thought. Oh my God. Oh no, it's wonderful. So,
Thank
Mike,
you, Ninja.
Over to you.
Yeah.
I wanted to add.
Okay, please.
Okay. I in listening there to that beautiful story, I I remembered I did a medicine journey, and in that I became separated from my physical body with this powerful medicine, and I was out in the galaxy. It was like being in a alien ship, and I had no body connection. I was completely separate from my body, and I saw these other beings like they were separate as well, and it felt very metallic, very, very basic. You know, I can't find the word. I've got a bit of echoing.
I just opened Area Code 301's microphone, but perhaps they need to mute on their end. Okay, so they will close it again.
Barbara.
Okay.
Hey, Barbara, mute on your end. Hey, go on, Joe. Hey, Joe, I've had a similar experience.
When I came back into my... when I came back into my body, it was divine to be in this physical body. If I'm having the complete contrast, and I thought, this body is a sensual feeling place, and I recognised the desire for the soul to incarnate into a physical, what I was saying was sort of dense body, and I now recognise the more we're coming into our heart, the more we're transmuting these old processes of creating, the more love and bliss we have in our body, like that story, the more connected I am, the lighter my body feels, the more love, of course, that's flowing through it. And then I go, that's why I'm incarnated in body. For me, it was like, okay, this is to centrally experience a soul's experience in a physical... our bodies are divine expressions of that. And now we're transitioning from the old denser frequencies into higher, lighter, more blissful, loving sensations, and their body's the tool to experience that, to feel it.
And to express it, and to express it. That's also what we, in this feeling and being, we're really now waking up to expressing it. And what we're recognizing is, it just comes right back to what you're just sharing, that heart-tuned way. And when I connect with it and resonate and I recognize, oh man, this is all, wow. And then, I look at the distortion again, or the so-called mainstream news and some new age beliefs about we need some other being besides the religious savior or some other saviors to come and rescue us. I'm like, oh, really? Oh, where'd you guys... wait a second. And then I tune back in over here, and I remember this, and I'm like, wow, this is all again. And we're so close to home. We're going to be like, I smell Mama's cooking. I haven't had the experience in a while, but I remember it, and I'm remembering it right now. And I'm blessed to have been able to experience it this time around. And I was being rocked, and I'll call her Mother Nature. I was being rocked in Mother Nature's arms. And what a feeling. And my knowing is everyone will have this again. You're here. That's your birthright. You will wake up and experience that again. I don't care who you are, what role you played this time, because she wants to do that. It's her will to remind you that you're always in her arms and in her heart. It's lovely. So, ladies, we have about, and everyone else at the table, we've got about 6 more minutes. I'm going to open up Barbara's mic here. Pretty sure it's Barbara.
Yes.
Hey, Barbara.
Mark, you sound like you're a titty baby. Were you a titty baby? Were you a titty baby? Were you?
And I wasn't. And my mom isn't listening. But I'm giving her a little dig about that, in a joking manner. It's like, Mom, how come I did it? And really, there was programming. Back then, man, I was born in 1969. I have a few older brothers and sisters. But, man, there was programming not to have women do this. And they just took it as, oh, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, circumcise them. You give them this poison instead of this essential. And it's normal. And, hey, I'm not faulting any of the ladies and the men who, this is what we experienced. But I did, have that, ooh, Mom.
You can't take your eyes off of them now, can you?
Sorry, joking with her. This is why I'm all messed up. I didn't have that mother's milk. But now my mother has some of that Catholic guilt, so she still has a little bit of that Catholic guilt, so she's kind of taking it a little serious, and I'm like, no, let go of that, Mom. This is funny.
Okay, right. Yes, he would.
My poor kid.
Yeah.
Bastard. I'm whole anyway.
Oh, but I'm sure you're making up for now. I'm sure you're making up now for lost time. I'm sure you keep your eyes on a good pair whenever you can, and don't mind thumping a nipple or two if offered.
Oh, I love you, Papa. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and just that simple that it became even a question, and like really, I sometimes what year we in? Did we regress? Did we go backwards? Like, so I was having this conversation with some friends the other day. I was just like, wow, I know I didn't live in America for a good long while. We got dumber? You fed your kids what? Okay, it's all good. But I thought we were smarter than that. Oh, all right. But here we are in 2014, and when it's still, some people have some closed mentality about a woman breastfeeding her child, or there's something wrong with it, or something outside of it. We know, at least from my heart, it's time for a change.
And to share more, we got to stop spending so much time alone. We need to share ourselves with others, even if it's for no more than just sitting and eyeballing and staring at one another. We still need to share ourselves with others, not just spend so much time alone. If you could just help one somebody, then your living will not be in vain. If you could just help one somebody, that your living will not be in vain because you have helped somebody.
And I'll tell. Well, we got 2 minutes. I'll share that story for another time. How I met my partner, my wife, and being in the middle of nowhere. You could call it, in the middle of the Pacific, in the middle of nowhere, on a road that no one walks, me coming from another direction. That's how I met my wife. And, it's almost like you could throw 2 random darts at the board, and to recognize, such a remote location for 2 people to come together, that for me, really in my heart, I was just like, well, this is not a chance encounter. That
agreement.
I stood alone, really alone, you were talking, I stood alone on a beach here in Hawaii for many, many months, and thinking, oh, this is never, being negative. Really, it's when I changed my mind and said I'm going to have some friends, I'm going to meet a woman, I'm going to do this. I got out of my funk. I listened to the good funk. And, wow, the universe delivers.
All right. Now that's a success story.
And so we got about a minute left. We'll roll over for a little bit. And
I need to go. I would love to say thank you, everybody, for sharing with me and loving this table.
Well, thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe. Much love.
Bye-bye, all.
Enjoy
so,
the rest of the evening.
What I'm getting at here, and what you reminded me of, is even in my walk on this planet, this time, walk with the earth, this moment around, that I've been in some lonely places, and I'm very happy and joyous that it changed. And much aloha to everyone who's didn't call in. Love, hearts are always connected. And so we're now on to the rollover. Who would like to hear a call? A song. I'd like to play Wings of Love. Has any of you guys heard this one before, Colleen?
Yes, it's beautiful. That would be very nice.
All right.
Please, I would like to hear Wings of Love. Okay.
Here we go, Barbara.
To get here today, to stand face to face. Oceans are not wide enough to keep us apart, no distance too far. And somehow I found you, you have found me, like an angel from somewhere above, to fall soft as a feather, right into my arms, from the wings of love. Blessed, I stand here before you, entranced by your smile, so lost in your eyes. Knowing that this is the first day in a journey of years, one lifetime to say that here now I found you, and glad that you found me. You're an angel from somewhere above, and fell soft as a feather right into my heart, from the wings of love. So know that with one journey traveled, another one begins today. Yes, you, my once in a lifetime, completes me completely always. Somehow I found you, you have found me, like an angel from somewhere above, to fall soft as a feather right into my arms, from the wings of love.
lovely.
Beautiful. Yes, it was. I know that's exactly how you feel about that girl that you met in that strange, unusual place. I know those are the feelings that you had. Your feather from the wings of love, yes. That's how it sounds like, that story that you just told us about your love affair of Beauty, your girl in the most unusual place.
And you know, Barbara, this reminder also is another way sometimes I see this is that and how I really would like to more remember is this, that the divine feminine, the goddess, that I recognize this, and not just, we'll just talk about the female aspects here for the moment, the so-called, the feminine.
Okay.
But to recognize that aspect, and especially in my partner, that this is how when we have this remembrance, because this is who we are, this is who we are in essence, and to treat ourselves like this, to behave, and again, that's of seeing the supreme in all, and these reminders that I have from nature, from myself, of how to really live in harmony with others, where I'm not fighting with them, I'm not arguing with them, and that when I am, the point that I can change is me, and I can remember that all is self. Remember the supreme in all, and that's the point that I can change for me. And when we do that, it really does shift our world. It really does. And I'm just not talking about, okay, whoever that person or people were in front of you or you're thinking of. It's you. It's this higher, this deeper connection with ourselves and everyone. And I really know that we've done this. We're remembering to do this. And I'm glad Kate reminds me of patience, because, Gemini nature that I am, I'm ready now. This moment's good for me.
Well, I'm May 19th, so I'm Taurus with Gemini influence. But I also like that the knowledge of knowing that I have God abilities and that everybody around me also have God abilities. My thing was, because I was raised at a Southern Baptist environment, when I got more conscious, I've always been conscious because I've always been an obedient child. But when I started reading more and finding out about different areas in geography and finding out different stories in the Bible and their foundations, that put a question in my mind, well, what am I supposed to do with Jesus? Everybody was telling me all these prophets and things were not real beings. But that's what all my instructions came from this fictitious person. So even though he may not have been, the name Jesus may not, because they said that J was a late invention. And so, it could not have been used basically back in the 1600s, or at the time that the King James Version of the Bible was supposed to have been written. So that was my biggest question. What am I supposed to do with this Jesus? And I had to come to the conclusion that it's not about whoever the title is, it's about the instructions that he gave. And his instructions were that I was just as powerful as he was. So I've always had this God-like feeling and everybody around me, because I have felt that I have been exposed to this God-like environment. And the feminine energy that had already always been pushed toward me had finally taken over after I heard a muscle-bound man say that a man's muscles is only for building and for protecting. Other than that he should stay in his feminine energy, because muscles are only used should be used. That was his evaluation of muscles, to use for building and protecting, and that's why he was very happy. And when when the movie came on, it brought tears to his eyes, or when he felt very dainty or feminine, he said he did not feel threatened by his feminine energy.
Indeed. Yeah. But this is something that's also, as we talk about the divine feminine aspects of all of us and the divine masculine, we talk about, the left brain, get out of the monkey chatter. But there is also an aspect of that, what we could call male energy, that is very well needed. Well, it's here as the balance, and that is where we go back into what you could say what we're doing now, using our voice to share truth in some ways is a divine masculine action. And this is, how do we say it? Well, for me, it's not a male or female thing, what I'm getting at here. It's not that only males have this divine masculine aspect to share. It's just, what I want to call it is wisdom. And I don't mean wisdom where you're not, it's just some word and nothing happens. No, wisdom is when you know truth, and it's when you know it, and you know with this knowledge, this truth, and by being it and living it, this wisdom changes the world. And who do we usually associate wisdom with? Usually an older man, and let's remember, most definitely an older woman that held this wisdom. They lived this truth. That's why they have this wisdom, because they lived it. They didn't just sit on their ass all day and play with the truth. No, they lived it. And this is what's coming into being. We are living our truth through love. And with this, wow.
We will prosper and grow. We will prosper and grow by living with our love, with our true love. That's why it's very important that we need to share our time and our energy with others and stop spending so much time alone, thinking about what I'm going to do. Stop being a goner and do it. Just do it. Just do it. Regardless of the circumstance. If you thought about it, and you should do it, because this is your life, the only one that you got. So do whatever it takes to put that smile on your face, if that's what you want. Or do whatever it takes to put that frown in your face, whatever you want. By us being God, the choice is yours. You don't have to smile if you choose not to. You don't have to frown if you choose not to. As family, we can't pick our family members, so we love you as is, however you are. But I find myself having more enjoyment out of people when I see the smiles on their face more so than the frowns. So I choose to be around the happier people. Not that I disrespect those unhappy people, but I do choose to be around the happier people.
Yeah, and Barbara and everyone at the Emerald Table, you just clarified something for me. It's as simple as sharing with one other person. Doesn't even have to be a word, a sound. It can be a smile that's shared. A wise woman or man alone is worthless.
Yes. Yes. Don't make your living in vain just by being selfish and thinking that nobody wants to be bothered. Somebody do. So those that you feel as don't try. The only thing they can say is yay or nay. If it's something that you desire, you ask about it. If they agree with you, fine. You get to share. If they don't agree with you, fine. You go your way, I'll go my way, and I keep looking for whatever it is that I want. But don't live life without the things that you want if there's an opportunity for you to fulfill them, because there's so much love and attention available and so much love and attention wanted. So let's give it. We got it. We got it.
Okay, Barbara, I opened up a few more lines. 617, I think that's Brandon. And
hey. Yeah.
Hey, man.
Hey, I was just listening.
Hey.
You guys should have the show because, my goodness, it's just beautiful to hear you. What you're saying.
That's because we care.
Yeah, and there's nothing, life's a roller coaster, and there are very high highs and very low lows, and I seem to go through a cycle every month. I don't know if it's the moon or what, but as Kate's been saying, I've been seeing with my ears, and my friend John, who's sort of a protege of mine, he's 19 years old. He's a blind listener of Kate's, and he's studying like medieval literature. He's going to come on Sunday night and read a poem inspired by Kate's writings and Kate's philosophy and everything, and it's beautiful. I can't wait for that, because I don't even know if she knew, but she was saying, listen or see with your ears, listen with your eyes. She was really talking to John, and you don't know what seeds get planted, and he wrote this amazing poem for her, so it's going to be beautiful. And Barbara, thank you for putting a smile on my face, and Mike, you too, man. You're just so amazing. Thanks.
Thank you, brother. Okay, we got somebody live.
And thank you.
Somebody with the tag.
We're all going to be listening.
Your mic's open. Welcome.
Yeah.
And guys, it's about 15 minutes after the rollover. I'm good to stay as long as you guys are. Otherwise, I'm going to take my son, go down the road, get into more nature. And I don't know, it's all nature, man. How can you get into more sometimes? I wonder. And
thank you, Michael. I need to go too. It's been beautiful, everyone.
Oh,
hi, Brandon.
Hi, Colleen. I know you're there. Beautiful to hear your voice too. I love you too.
I love you.
Oh, that is
It'll
so
be
kind.
nice.
I love you.
It'll be nice to hear John again. He came on that one time and he read something. Oh my gosh, almost a year ago it seems like.
Yeah, he's amazing. He is a prodigy. He has a book of poems coming out. He's 19 years old.
I remember.
I met him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was nice when he joined us a few times.
Yeah, so he came on once, and it was really interesting, and then he's going to come on Sunday night, he hopes. So he memorized the poem. He can't obviously read it, so he's memorized it. He's memorized
Very nice.
500 lines of the Aeneid, things like that in Latin. He's brilliant. And it's inspired by Kate. Yeah. There's a blind man.
But we will all be here Sunday to listen. We will all be here Sunday to listen to that poem by John. That is so wonderful.
He might be on early. If so, I will definitely let everybody know when he will be on. He'll let me know. So I'll be there listening.
Okay. All right.
Much love to you all. I'm going to go.
Love you. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
Oh, wonderful.
Bye, Colleen.
Goodbye, Barbara. Much love.
Always.
So here's something to remember, and I get is it's like when I don't know. I've been in some spaces, we'll call it. I've been in some places, and where it just reminds me of how in certain where here in Hawaii, aloha can mean hello or goodbye, and then there's certain other places around the world where the people also was the same word for a hello or goodbye. And actually, those ain't the English. That isn't really what we could say the proper translation of those words.
Right.
English had these words of what we would call separation. And in our greetings, when we welcome somebody or and when somebody departs, it was this idea of separation, and even our words kind of intended that. Had that association.
That's right.
And my reminder is, living where I'm here, and I know aloha, I mean, it's, what I'm getting at is the essence of it was when we greet each other from our heart, and when we so-called heart each other from our heart, I think the true meaning is it's like when they say in Lakesh. It's this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're saying we are one. And so instead of saying hello or goodbye, it's just like, hey, it's like the
That's right.
and I know I'm not expressing it quite as clear as I like, but yeah, you guys feel
I feel what you're saying.
right. So
a universal.
And this is how, as beings, human beings in general, this is how I've seen in different ways of how instead of merging together, melding together, coming together, we have old tendencies to hitch and hesitate and force and bump and not let someone, and in many ways, whether it's through language, action, behaviors, emotions, instead of blending together, melding together, merging, coming together, we had this kind of like in bumper cars bumping into each other.
Yep.
It's all of the programming.
Yeah. And so one way I would see this is when you're entering a highway. And sometimes you're getting on the highway and you just slide right in. And I'm like, wow, yeah, there's consciousness just syncing up. And then other times you see it, there's an opening there, there should be no problem, you can glide right in, but no, someone's got to speed up or someone's got to slow down. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to keep my center and just don't get into that fighting. Okay, they messed up me getting on the highway. Just be safe and, fall in where I need to be. But it was almost, I was just like, that was unnecessary. It was completely unnecessary. It's just opening a door for someone. Holding a door open. Letting someone go in front of you.
That's right.
And
what's wrong with that?
So what I'm kind of getting around to is this is more of where we are moving into, where we do come together, we do interact in this more of a merging, melding where we.
Very good. Yep.
Hey, Mike,
merging.
I'm still here.
Hey.
Hey.
I heard what you were. I heard what you. Yeah, it's hard to leave the table. I heard what you were saying, but yeah, and someone said about the programming. I don't know who that was that's on the table, but the programming of that, hello and goodbye, and aloha and namaste and in Lakesh, and like Steve always says, ashiwa. There's that feeling like we're always connected. There is no breaking off, like a goodbye. There's that feeling like there's a breaking off where the other ones that we just said in aloha, there's that we will stay connected no matter where we are on the planet. There's always that connection, that heart connection.
I am another
right
you.
On. It's just I'm just over here. You know. Yeah.
What is it? Avatar? They say I see you. Or what is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's different, but I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's a recognition. Mm-hmm. Namarie is the one token used. It's very close to namaste. So Namarie is greeting and goodbye, hello and goodbye.
Yes.
Yes.
And then speaking of that, like the Maoris, they do the third eye, where when you greet, the third eye greeting or your foreheads come together, and it's just so beautiful that real connecting the heart and the third eye.
Yep.
And even when you hug, that 3-minute hug, and what the energy of that, what it does to each other. And then when you go out into your world, you have that vibration.
You.
Yeah.
Yep. It's interesting. One of my friends is a stand-up comedian, pretty well-known stand-up comedian, and I was with him after one of his shows, and he was getting a lot of hugs. There was a whole line, and he was getting a lot of hugs. I'm like, wow. And then he was up until 6 in the morning that night, because he was just off energy. It was a good show, and you get that many hugs, that much love. I mean, you must feel like $1 million, and we should all feel that way. All the time.
Well, that's what I was. That's exactly what I was getting ready to ask. Does all hugs good hugs? Are they? They
I
are.
don't know.
Okay.
I'm sure some bad energy could be transferred through a hug for sure. But let's not think about that. Let's think about the good
I think if we always keep our heart open. For me, it cancels out that. And then there's another thing where you can always do if you feel that. It's an ancient, like an ancient process, but it's called decharging. And it's like earthing, but you just go out and you stand on the earth, and then any feeling of a negative energy, you decharge that back into the earth.
The earth, and you have to be barefoot. It's almost better to be barefoot.
Like earthing, like you're grounding,
Yeah, like get your feet in.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
You do this
Have you ever?
Even 10 minutes a day. If you take off your shoes and get in the dirt and the real good soil and just bask in the sun, maybe for like 10 minutes, watch the changes. I mean, all the toxins go right back into the earth, and all the good soil comes. Oh, it's amazing, Barbara.
That sounds good.
I live doing that.
Yeah, but if that doesn't, another one you can do if it's still, let's say you have a little back pain or whatever it may be, put your hands in the dirt.
Really? Dirt.
Get some dirt under your fingers.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah. I remember making mud pies. I remember playing in the dirt and I was a very healthy child. Making mud pies and inviting people over to your house for some mud pies. Mud pies.
That was the best.
As a little kid, they was eating dirt on this little tree in my house. My grandfather's house. I don't know why. I was a little idiot. 2 years old.
Dirt, wasn't that clay-like dirt? I heard people say that, like the southern people say they had red dirt or red clay-like dirt that was good, that they used to eat all the time.
Yeah.
Like
Mexico.
a clay. Mhm.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
Yeah.
I had never seen that. I went to Atlanta, and then I got an opportunity to see. I was there during a rainy day, and I got to see that red dirt up there around Stony Mountain area up in Decatur.
Yeah, sometimes Barbara, that's a lot of iron in many places.
That's right.
Oh.
Yeah. Iron, the Mars, yeah.
Have you seen the...
used to dance a lot, man. We'd have, get so much red dirt up my nostrils and stuff. We'd be blowing it out for days.
So hands in the dirt, Mike.
Open. Guys, we'll do about 5 more minutes if that's good with everybody. And
all right.
We'll roll on out of here. So a few more mics open, 443. Somebody live. Chime in if you
I will say aloha, namaste, in the Kesh, and ashiwa to all. Much love.
Much love.
Again.
The view from that observatory on Hawaii, if everybody could look up at night and see that, I think it would be a completely different world.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good
evening, everyone.
Unbelievable.
Hello.
Yes. Alveta.
Oh, yes. Hi.
Hi.
Good evening, everyone. Yes. Mike, you took the words right out of my mouth when you said melding. Just before you said that, I was thinking, I said, it's just so beautiful how we all just melding together and it's growing, bigger and bigger and bigger at this table. Everybody's blending together with love and peace, and it's so beautiful. I wanted to say that. You took those words right out of my mouth. I was like, oh, time to get on.
We were saying we're on the same conversation. We're speaking from the same heart.
Yes.
Came out of my mouth.
Yes.
This is when we talk telepathy, when we talk heart, soul, essence to heart, soul, essence. It isn't my words and your words. It's one.
Yes.
That conversation, that sharing of communication, there isn't a what I want to say, there isn't a speaker and listener.
Boundary.
There's no boundary there. It's one. And well, that's so beautiful when
that is.
When we remember we naturally communicate like this.
Yeah.
So there was I didn't get the chance to call her. It came in up under live. Who we got here? I'm gonna cut you off a few times. Hello? All right.
You talking about mine?
Yeah, yours. Yeah, hey, Vera.
All right. I was just saying, Mike, the observatory on Hawaii, the view that you can get if you look up from there. I've seen some of the pictures, and wow, it's just amazing.
Yeah, I know. You can go up the Big Island or Maui, or you can go up any of the islands actually and stand on top, where somehow you just get, it's above that so-called atmospheric line, and you get this clarity of what is in the night sky. And beautiful you brought this up. And I was listening to Seven on his latest interview he did. And any of you guys haven't heard it, listen to it. I highly recommend it. James Beaumont, go to AstroQuest. Resistance 2010. Anyways, he was reminding us of that the stars will become brighter. And then and why will the stars become brighter? It was, let's see if I can share this clearer. It's kind of our consciousness, so to say, shining brighter. Our consciousness getting clearer. This light.
As above, so below.
And what happens, and I've experienced this, and when I heard this, I was just like, and this isn't the first time he shared this, and that really shined light on a few experiences of mine, was that when we look up at the night sky and it just gets shinier and shinier, brighter and brighter, where there's no longer any differentiation between the stars. It all becomes one bright, shiny oneness. All right. It's what we call white
That's how it's becoming.
Consciousness, and 0 point is what I could call this also. And from here, this is one of the places, so to say, where we really spiritually intend and create from this clear white light of consciousness.
That's beautiful. I like that. Yeah, I thought of that a little bit. Yep.
And I've been in this state, and I was just like, kept going like, okay, I've reached this. And I was trying to go through it. I was like thinking, okay, I'm in this completely white, and I'm trying to go through this. And, kind of like, and when I thought like that, I came back. It was like I hiccuped, I thought, and I came out, I was like, what happened? What is that? What was I? Again, I really had no dogma. I had no so-called religious texts. Even living in India all those years, I never followed any prescribed so-called indoctrination. Not that it doesn't benefit some, for sure. So when I heard this described, that as above, like we're saying, as above, so below, as heaven on earth, this just, when we will see the night sky again, and it just gets brighter and brighter and brighter. This is a reflection of our consciousness getting clearer and clearer.
I agree. I truly agree. Because we are siding as long as we're together and sharing what we have with someone else. We are together. We will continue to shine brighter and brighter and brighter because that's our desire. Remember, we're gods. We could go either way, and we choose to go upward bound.
Yeah, inward, onwards, and upwards. Or inward, upwards, and onwards. I think
they got that heaven and hell. Yeah. I think they got that heaven and hell mixed up because I get all type of hot, good energy from above, and when it's cold, I really feel like I'm in hell, like it's a horrifying feeling. So I really think they got definition. Hell is cold.
Temperature thing again.
In Dante's Inferno, the devil, the very center circle of hell is an icy block. And that's
right. There you go. There you go. That's how I feel about it.
So I just want to bring back to the stars real quick. So when you go up on top of the, like from the observatories they have on Maui and the Big Island of Hawaii, which again, in many ways I'm not in favor of them. But they're there.
Why?
And
yeah.
Why not? Why are you not in favor of them?
Because of the money and all that.
Well, I can't go up there now.
Right. Well, it's true.
But that's somebody that's in our world, in our family, can go up there, and that's where you bring back the information to the family and let us imagine.
If they open it up and share it with people, right, Bob? If they open it up and share it with the people and let them, still use this space also in a harmonic way. So when we go up these, like the mountain, like here the Big Island, what I said earlier, you're rising above the atmospheric conditions that normally cloud your visibility of the night sky.
Wow, so perfect.
You want to look at this in terms of us.
Exactly.
Why we would have a clearer picture from so-called on high is because the distortion, the atmospheric conditions when we're talking the telescope and all that. But for us, it's the distortion. We rise above that distortion where we see actuality clearer. We actually see, because we can talk reality, and I like how in a clearer way we can now talk actuality. What actually is happening?
Mm.
So
right.
Actual reality. So we are seeing above and beyond the distortion, the matrix. We are clear of that limiting thought patterns and belief systems.
Paradigm, yeah.
And when we have that view, when we tune in to that clarity, we see such a beautiful picture. It's just like you were saying, when we see through that clarity at the night sky and you see the heavens above, as they sometimes describe it. And what's so really magnificent about it is we are recognizing other points of light of us.
I was going to say the same thing. That's right. Yep, we're recognizing ourselves for the universe experiencing itself.
And now we are on so-called ground level looking at the people around us and when seeing clear of this distortion, we remember the same thing. Because as above, so below, as without, so within. And it's the
That's
same.
So right.
Brilliant, Mike. Brilliant.
Holy mount. If you think about it, a lot of things happen on mountains. A lot of clarity, a lot of vision. From Moses to Zarathustra, they come, and then, the Tibetan monks, and there's something to seeing the world from a very high place, and the clarity, as you say, and the night sky that comes, that creates a feeling, or like a clarity, as you say, that really is synonymous with truth. That is truth. It is direct experience and is us. And you get that almost direct experience of divine, and you can see why people worship the stars. I mean, and the sun. You know, I'm not a solar cultist or anything like that, but I love the sun, and I recognize that if it weren't here, I wouldn't be here. And, you know, I think it's a beautiful thing. I'm not going to idolize it or anything like that, but, you know, I do recognize amazing intelligence.
So let's leave it on this in food for thought. The sun. Another word for sun is soul. There's a reason.
Ra, 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 ra.
That's right.
So this soul, again, this is one. Soul is solo. Soul is one. And
right.
Yep.
This is why it resonates so innately with us. It's not to deify it. It's not to externalize it in a name of worship. It's to remember
ourselves.
Ourselves is one.
Yep. Beautiful. That's a great way to end it up.
Yeah, thank you, Brandon. Barbara, everyone for coming to the Emerald People. Outside the box and critical mass that beautifully puts this table, lays this table out for us. And with that,
thank you.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Beautiful orchestration.
Good night.
See you tomorrow. Good night.
Happy birthday.
You're listening to Kate of Gaia on Critical Mass Radio. The game is up. Now, it's our turn.
Aloha, everybody. Welcome to Outside the Box, Open Forum. The Emerald Table with Mike and Mark and our very own Kate of Gaia. And Kate's here also. I just haven't, she hasn't unmuted her mic yet. I had a beautiful 3 days away of not touching my computer, my iPad, or any of that stuff, just to kind of practice what I preach sometimes in terms of not that anything was good or bad. It's just want to be outside more. How much time do I surf the net, just filling my mind full of junk instead of the beauty that's surrounding us always? And wonderful for me, and I know it's perfect for everyone where they're at and what we've been tuning in and listening to, because hearts are resonating, and truth is shining, and love is in the air. If, as Kate reminded us, if we have the ears to see and the eyes to hear, it's an interesting view of our senses. Once again, because there are people on this planet, you blindfold them, they can see out of other parts of their body. And this is just a reminder that we are more than what we see in the mirror. We are more than many times what we believe of ourselves. And when we move out of that distortion, so to say, and have a clearer picture of reality and actuality, we really start smiling more, and it's a beautiful picture. And let's see if...
I'm here.
Oh, wonderful. Hey, Kate.
It's all right. I got your message before you actually said it. It's neat. I love it. Just stay in the moment. It's beautiful. Yeah, so I had a really kind of interesting afternoon, eh? Were you tuned in earlier today?
Yeah, I listened to the end of the show.
Yeah, it was... Yeah, it was a good download, you know. I don't even know where to begin right now. It's just, yeah, welcome to my world. It's getting really, really hard to be literal at all. Just, it's neat. It's a whole different movie when you hear with your eyes and see with your ears. Everything starts to make sense, and, you know, I come across different posts here and there, you know, be it Facebook or Skype or whatever, it doesn't really matter. And observing the polarities that people still cling on to, you know, claiming they're harming us and the thieves and all the rest of this. Yeah, that's the game, right? Observe it. See it for what it is. It's a game. And can you get reeled in by it? This is a really hard thing to explain to people because you've been away from your God mode for a very long time, apparently.
Okay, I was talking with Mark before the show about this, and one of the most easiest ones we can see it on is money.
Mm-hmm.
How people relate or understand this concept, this introduced virus in a way.
Well, it's easy to explain. It's in the word, mo-ni, modus operandi of the ni. So it's a worshipping of the money or not. And again, this is a good and evil at the same time. Mm-hmm. It is about the intent that is contained within it. You see, people don't realize that every thought is a contract.
And so in this intent, and this is how it's come clearer, is we're not saying go out and burn your money. Again, it's your intent behind it. Use this tool, even though for, well, at least my lifetime that I can remember, it's been a tool used against us to basically disassociate ourselves from our power. But at the same instance, assisted me to wake up to recognize, hey, wait a second, the source is inside of me. I'm not worshiping something outside of me, whether it's money, a government that most people don't even realize that that's who they're worshiping, because they can imagine, oh yeah, not a church, but say, hey, the government's gone. Oh no, don't take that away from me. Yeah, they're worshiping that. They just didn't recognize it. And same with the money thing. And I'm like, it's not a bad thing. It's just guys, do you remember this? This is what it is. This is what it's programmed to do. And now, being the God that we all are, we can, while we're still playing with these minor instruments, use them to our benefit and everyone else's.
Yeah, spot on, Mike. Aloha.
Aloha.
Okay.
Hello, Mark. Get on that horse. You're the horse of Babylon.
And so when we hear you just break down the language, for me, I look at this and I look at all other facets of life in a way, and I watch how this fits in all of those. It's the same thing. It's not like it's the key that took them all down in a way.
The master key.
It brought clarity.
Yeah.
It brought clarity to the other fractionalized pictures in our life, but we can now bring them back to one and see it for what it actually is and move on.
Yeah, time to have some fun.
Because
indeed.
If we use it, the old system, we're not moving on. We're going around and around. And we're like, okay, yeah, I'm done with this merry-go-round, guys. I'm getting a little queasy, whatever you call it, sick.
Queasy?
Queasy. I choose to get off the ride right now because it's no longer fun. And now most of the fun we are having, that true, well, we know it resonates. It's that belly laugh. It's that smile on your face. It's that laughter that makes your heart warm. Yeah, we're living. This is when you actually are tuning in to your whole self, the grander universe.
It warms the cockles of your heart.
And this is the world we're moving into again. Because most of the humor and laughter we did kind of have wasn't doing that. And now we're recognizing this other purer sense. And it's because we're moving into our new homes, which is our heart center.
Yeah, it was something I've been, it's been around for a while, but it's very interesting. I've talked about the letter G and why it was inserted in the number 7 spot was to control the intent of the words. The letter G is the hex. It is the 6 that spins you inward. And when you see it in a word, be mindful. And one of the words that came up earlier, thanks Capri, of course it had to be the she-goat. Always is. I'm not sure if my Facebook isn't working, but anyway, the word was she said the word name was an anagram of amen. And I thought, yeah, it is actually. And then I looked at it and I saw the heart and the mind, the Anu, the heart, and the Ram, the mind. And the only thing that came between the heart and the mind was the G, the hex. So for me, the G is the spin in, egocentric, right? And there's that ego, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing between consciousness and creation is the G again, ego, right? So instead of it saying ego, well, EO, like you'd call somebody, EO, and start doing this.
There's a sacred valley here, EO Valley, on Maui, and been many times, been blessed, And you really, when you said ego, I'm like, EO, this is... And then, isn't it odd when you take out G from God, you get odd?
And then drop the D again, drop the GDP, and you have O, creation itself. E-I-E-I-O, indeed.
Yes.
And that's what I means, too. It means yes. Aye, Captain. So it's about taking the sound and changing the intent. This is what I've been trying to share. And it's not a simple, it's extremely simple concept, but it's very difficult to grasp. When you change the sound, or the word, the spelling of the word, by changing the intent, it's like earlier today, I put up a post for all my Italian friends. And they'll know what I'm saying in Italian when I say this. Chi cazzo fai? I don't care. And play. This game is not going to play itself. You're the master or the slave. You're either playing the kami, the spirit of the magnetic electric. Remember the G, I flip in a K there. Put the spirit back where the hex was. My spirit. Because a G can intersperse with the K, right? Well, no, K-N-O-W. New, G-N-U, so the G can be interconnected and do the same silent thing. In no, G-N-O-W. This is what I'm talking about. There are no rules while you use all the rules. It's a singularity. The language, all of the spellings are a singularity. It just depends on how you interpret the law. And I told you what to do with the music scale yesterday. Flip the law and the re, or ro, swap places. And you'll understand how the real music scale works. So there's a few little hints. Many people ask me about how do I do this, I'm just going to say, do it yourself. Because I've lost count of the fish I've thrown out there. Moreover, I've thrown out pristine fishing rods for you to land these whales all by yourself. The way of L, the way of intent, that the whale is. Prince of Wales. You're damn straight, Prince of Wales. You might, and that's a print. Prince? P-R-I-N-T-S or P-R-I-N-C-E. It just depends on your intent. I just left the last part silent. You can do anything you wish. Do not be spellbound. Because if you're worshiping the Prince of Wales, as in some guy or whatever, it's actually, well, we talked about it today and last night. Well, what have we got? Pre and se. My pre, as in before creation. So if the Prince of Wales is someone you look up to, someone you worship as your royalty, well, don't worry, they'll take care of your creations ahead of you, pre and se. They'll even give you a pre and ses. Princess. Remember the story, the princess and the pea? 100 mattresses high, and she couldn't sleep because there was a lump in her bed. Someone put a pea in her bed. That tricky little bastard Peter. All of these little stories that we've grown up with and become part of and made them part of us are absolute truths. Once you have the eyes to hear it and the ears to see it. But you got to back up. And everyone's in such a hurry. And I do understand this. I really do. What I really want to make you aware of is this is all I do. I live in this. I don't, well, I'm going to come home for an hour after my slave job and all the rest of it. This is why I'm doing this, because it's my job to do this. This is my purpose. My dauphin. Purpose, dauphin, dolphin. It just depends on how you pronoun and say something and how many languages you want to pull in to find the intent you wish within that spell. Break the hex, make the wish, and watch your dreams come true. And while your ego goes, I'm laughing because I know it's that easy. I'm just waiting for one of you to get it. I'm here to make gods, remember? That was my job, my role, my chosen. But you have to spend a little bit of time. You could do this in a couple of hours. Seriously, just sit down with one or two or three words and start practicing the sounds. Chi cazzo fai? If you're Italian, it means something different than chi cazzo fai. If you're using English, Greek, Egyptian, whatever. That's why Phoenician is the master tongue. It pulls them all together. And you merely have to get the concept of this to dispel all languages. Get you out of Babylon right quick. And then, once you get the concept, change the spells. Watch your magic start. See, the ego needs all sorts of proof. That's the program. It's the Mrs. Doubtfire. It's the Pope had a little slip up, and it was beautiful. Again, I follow my script in the now, and I just spelled it out phonetically in English, and it exactly says what it is. Saying Kikatsu Fai in mixed company with fluent people that speak fluent Italian might get heads to turn, but not the way you think you want them to. Cazzo, cock, fuck, that sort of energy in it. As the Pope meant to say caso, like home, and instead he said cazzo, and then he corrected himself. It was actually quite brilliant. So apparently it's okay for all you religiocosis chosenitis types to say fuck, the Pope did, or cock, whatever. Because I mean, really, with the and you know me, I like calling it out so people can see it. Let's take off our bibs and let's have a look at the true hidden meanings, and don't let the emotions of your silliness get in the way because somehow you were programmed into a sound to mean this, that, or the other. I've said it countless times. If you go to inland China and walk around and say the word fuck, you'll probably end up with something like an egg sandwich. I have no idea what that might translate into in Mandarin or Cantonese, but I mean, you see the signs when they're spelled out in English. You know, Fu King Restaurant. You know, but there's two words, Fu and King. Spelled in English, it looks a whole lot different in the characters of Chinese. But when you put it out in English, it creates an entirely different spell, doesn't it? And because of the spell that you were trapped in, being spellbound, you're blinded. Your ears are blinded because you're buying the light, which is this just another frequency of sound. Everything is sound. That's why you need to hear with your eyes. So bring it here. So Ki, K-E-Y, Ka, spirit, Egyptian, and of course Ti, Kat, Ki Katso, Phi, is the note of love, or the one you're going to, the cross you're crucified on. Put the sound behind it. The E, there's consciousness. So, a needle pulling thread. Phi, creation. And I would happen to say that the whole intention behind a cock would be for creation, yeah? Again, it's going right back down to the energies. And guys, I am telling you, you've got to lose all of the charge you have on words and sounds. And I laugh at the people, the silly little children that sit on the edge of their seat, waiting to pounce I've had it happen countless times over the years. Oh, you said fuck. Oh, yeah, I did. What's your problem? It's just a sound. Oh, that's right. You're spellbound. Sorry about that. I'm fucking stupid. I actually thought you could think like me. My apologies. Again, it's about letting go of the energy. It's letting go of the charge. And I can always tell when people are using these words with charge contained in them. They still haven't got this, because I can feel the energy where it's still abrasive. So I'm trying to alleviate all of that. Lose the edge. Take the burr off your intent. That's when you go from burl to goy. Boy to girl, burl to goy. You've got a burr on your intention because you've got charge on it. You need to put that one into the law of God in the lathe, law theos. Yeah, these are not coincidences. And when you start cracking this code, and that's all it is, it's just a code, your eyes open to an entirely different reality because your ears have finally opened. You're hearing things as you see them and seeing things as you hear them. So you've reversed the spell. So take the G, take the hex out. The intent of it was to spin you in. Sorry, Masonic Temple, your G is powerless. It's been reversed. And we'll flip it over to create the whole spirit of Theta. And that is the God of love. Theos, ta, gratitude. It really is this simple. And at this point, you're probably starting to see and moreover feel the programming that is running in you, that I am very patiently working at removing. And it's just a couple of little tricks that you can do within the spellings to reverse all of this stuff. The letter P, start inserting its proper sound, ro. And you will understand a whole lot more because you're going to see these words transform and all of the intentions therein. I could say faux pas. In France, it means an error. In the Midwest, it means that your dad's your enemy. You see the difference, yet both sounds work. It's the sound that works, not the words. And you can take any language you want. I mean, just a kikatsofai in Italian. If you say that in the wrong place, you're going to get a slap upside the head because people have so much charge on these sounds. You say it in English, ki-kat, sofi. Now you understand that, well, you have ki, which is, you can make it the Greek letter X. You can make it something you put in the door. You can make it somewhere to park your ship, your mind. What else? Qui in French means who. So what is the intention of the sound that you're saying? Or are you just spewing something from a common tongue that has you tongue-pledged? Look at the word knowledge. Take the G out. No lead. So when you take the G out, you remove the lead and turn it to O. AU in French makes the O sound. You don't need the G, the L, or the D. You just have to look at the periodic table to correlate the O sound with that element. Or no lament. E as a prefix means no. So, in order to become the rammer, best learn your grammar. It's not that difficult. It's the reason why grammar got removed. I'm one of the lucky ones. I loved grammar. I loved history and I loved English. Funny how it played in my game. And these are very simple things. And again, I just have to tell the same thing over and over. Do it. Do it for yourself. I have given countless clues, nails, for you to nail this one shut. But the programs that run so deep within everyone, what's stopping you? I'll tell you, because you're afraid of the truth. And the measure of your ability to stand in the truth is the measure of the fear and the circumstance you find yourself in. Best change that modus operandi. Look at that. M-O, mo. With the grass too, right? You might do that with a machine gun as well. What is your intent when you make the sound mo? Well, Curly, Larry, and modus operandi. M-O, modus operandi. So let's go with modus. The modus operandi is contained within the M-O. And that's your mode of God, the mode of the intent and creation. But even look at the modus operandi. O, take that P out, or flip it to the R, or, and then you have the undie. Isn't that interesting? The not die or the one die? Well, it depends. If you use the sound D-I, D-Y, or D-I-E. In Latin, die means day. And I talked earlier today about changing all the vowels contained within the sound with sound mind. If you want the consonants, the with sound mind to work for you, then start playing with your vowels. Switch them up. Stop assuming and presuming that a word is spelled only the way you were programmed to spell it. If you do, then you are spellbound. You are following all the rules. Now I'm going to suggest that you follow all the rules to break them. If EA sounds like E in bead, or in bread, then the bed becomes the breed. Do you see how quickly the intentions of those changed? Bead to bread, bed to breed. Funny how that works. And all I did was change the sound of the two same letters. I didn't have to respell them at all, because the spell is contained within the sound, not the fucking word. And you are the master of this or the slave to it. It's your choice. But you're going to have to sit down with a pen, crayon,